Hi, I'm Lynette and welcome. Today I'm going to be playing in makeup and I'm going to be using the new Pat McGrath Mothership VIII Divine Rose 2 palette. I know, this is old school now. Everybody done seen this. Everybody done put their videos up. You probably watched a half dozen by now. I'm late to the game. I know. But I'm going to go ahead and put timestamps down below. I don't know if I'm going to do a full face of makeup on camera or not. I don't know, but I will have timestamps below. I'm going to show you some swatches. I'm going to do an eye look from one of the looks that was done by a Pat McGrath makeup artist during the Divine Smoke Masterclass. I know other people have done those videos already too. I know I'm really late. I'm really late. I know. So yeah, so if I do my makeup after that, I'll have timestamps below if you're only interested in swatches, if you're only interested in the tutorial. And I'm also going to be talking in this video, so if you're not interested in that, check below so you can skip to where you want to be. Okay, so by now everyone has seen the palette. You've seen the packaging, which is beautiful. I don't own Divine Rose 1, so I won't be doing any comparisons, but I'm sure you've seen all of those videos too. And then I was lucky enough to snag it in the limited edition Dusty Rose packaging. So gorgeous. You're not going to be able to see the full effect of it because it is mirrored, but it's gorgeous. It's got the gold plating on the back, and then the inside of the palette looks like that with the beveled mirror. You know, gorgeous. I will drop the swatches right here, and you'll be able to see all this beautiful Divine Rose gorgeousness. That Sextraterrestial shade, the one that everybody's talking about, that Pat McGrath calls it a trio chrome. I call it a trichrome. I don't think it matters. It's just the most gorgeous eyeshadow that changes depending on how the light hits it. From Pat says it's peach. It looks a little more gold to me, but she says it's peach to green to pink, and the pink to green shift is really strong. Really strong. The peach I don't really get that much of, although I did already do a look with this palette, and I posted the look on Instagram, and in the photo you can definitely see, I didn't see it too much when I put it on. I saw that pink and that green shift, but in the photo I can see the peach shift. It's just absolutely gorgeous. I know that indie brands have been doing trio chromes and now multi-chrome eyeshadows for quite some time, but for Miss Pat McGrath, a luxury brand, to include it in one of her palettes, and she did such a nice job. With this shade, when you use it, look, you see the green? I see the green here. You're seeing pink, I think, now, but I'm looking at it right now and it's green, so it's crazy. But yeah, she did this so beautifully, as she does with all her eyeshadows. So you see the pink, you see the green. Oh, and I think the peach is coming through too. Look at that. It's just magnificent. And then when it's wet, oh my god. And Pat McGrath, she herself advocates for you wetting this eyeshadow. It's like liquid metal. It's gorgeous. Anyway, I have the palettes 1 through 5. I skipped 6 and 7 because they didn't really appeal to me that much, but then 8 I was like, oh yes, of course she does include another gold. I don't think I've used any golds in her palettes yet. But she keeps putting them in there. So this palette is gorgeous. I have to say, before this palette came out, Mothership 6 and a 7, Midnight Sun was 6, Divine Rose 1 was 7, and I don't know, they were a little too neutral for my taste. I mean, each palette had one shadow, at least one, that I was like, oh my god, I want it, but I'm not spending $125 for one eyeshadow. And then I think Midnight Sun Divine Rose. Mothership 6 had a lot of repeat shades in it, and I'm not down for that either. So I skipped those two, and I was starting to think that, okay, you know, if she keeps going on this trend, I could save some money because I won't be buying anymore. But she didn't. She got back on track with homegirl right here. So I got it. And I'm going to be doing a look from her Divine Smoke masterclass that she had a couple of weeks ago now online. The class amazingly was only $10, and Pat McGrath matched that $10, and all of the proceeds went to the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. So $10 masterclass with Pat McGrath, and it all goes to a great cause. Like, how could I not, right? Now, the masterclass wasn't actually taught by Pat McGrath. She was there, but she didn't actually get her hands dirty. She had, I think, like 7 or 8 of her makeup artists that work with her actually doing the looks and giving tips, makeup tips. So it was really, really great. Even though she didn't actually do any of the makeup herself, it was really great seeing these artists who are definitely like artists and professionals, and you know, they're working with Pat McGrath. So hello. And one of them, Rennie Vasquez, I've been following him for a long time. I met him at IMATS my first year that I went, and he did a look. So she also said that this was going to be the first of many master classes. So if you missed out on that class, no worries. She's going to have more in the future. And she was actually asking folks, what would we like to see? What are the types of looks? What are the type techniques that we'd like to see in a class? What would we want to learn? So that was great. And then all the participants got, well, she said 15 people were going to get something very special. So I don't even know. She said she was going to announce it. I'm pretty sure, I know I follow her on Instagram, so I don't know if she announced it or not. So I don't know if I was one of the lucky 15 and I missed out. But 15 people were going to get something really special. She didn't say what. And then everybody who attended the class got a 15% off code, which I haven't used yet, which I believe is still good. I don't know when it expires. I didn't see any expiration date, but I've been thinking about going on there, maybe trying to pick up a concealer or whatever. But yeah, so I mean, that was nice. 20% would have been better, but I'll take 15%, okay? So yeah, it was really great. And the reason why it took so long for me to do this video is because I just really have not been inspired to film, to do anything. And I've had this baby girl for a few weeks now. I want to say 2, maybe 3 weeks at this point. And I just wasn't even inspired to play with her. Although I finally did break down and do a look that I posted on Instagram, which, you know, in my humble opinion, came out beautifully. So if you're interested in that look, then please go to my Instagram and follow me there and you'll see it. So I'm going to do another one today, but this time it's going to be from one of the makeup artists. And this makeup artist is Keisha, and she was the very first one, actually. She kicked off the class. And so yeah, I'm gonna try to recreate this look that she did, and along the way I will tell you about some of the tricks that they imparted to us. All right, so let's get started. I hope this works out. I really do. Let me zoom you in a little closer. Pat McGrath and the MUAs, they seem to like eyeshadow bases. So I'm going to use a base because Keisha used a base, but I'm going to just use it from my brow here and to the crease, or at least I'm going to try to keep it there because I probably put on way too much. And I'm going to blend that out with my handy dandy Real Techniques brush. Like, all my brushes are dirty. Like, I seriously need to wash all my brushes. So I'm just gonna take it here. All right, well, I'll bring it down. Why not? Let's bring it all the way down, because I'm pretty sure that's what she did. I did take notes, so I do have like 2 pages of notes that I took, and there were like, I want to say they were like, I took notes on 2, I think 3 looks, but then there were maybe one or 2 other looks that were just using the Divine Rose 1 palette. So since I don't have that palette, I didn't take notes on that. And then you had MUAs that were just giving you tips. So it was really, really comprehensive, and I'm so glad I had the opportunity to go. Now, in addition to eye bases, Pat McGrath and the MUAs, they seem to like using pencils, eyeliner pencils, to start off a look. And every single MUA in the class started the look with an eyeliner pencil. And because the class was Divine Smoke, they were doing smoky eyeshadow looks. I think that was the reason for starting every look with a pencil. And so I'm just taking a brown pencil here, any brown pencil you have, and start off. Do I want to do this eye, or do I want to do this? I'm going to do this eye. Start off your pencil lining it like on your lash line. So I already went too high with this pencil, but that's okay because we're just going to smudge it out. And then they also went on the lower lash line as well. And I didn't put any primer down here either, so probably should have done that. While you're down here, you can also go ahead and tight line. And now you want to take a brush and smudge it the best of your ability. This eyeliner is probably waterproof and matte, and that's why it's a little more difficult to blend out. But I'll just add some more and try to blend it upwards. You want to blend it upward all over the lid. So it really helps, of course, if you have a creamy pencil in which to do that. And then you want to also blend below the lid, and I'm going to need a stiffer brush to do that because this liner has already set. Divine Dusk and Rose Seduction. So these 2 shadows these 2 shadows right here. I'm gonna go ahead and spray my brush with some Fix Plus. I'm gonna place this all over the lid. And we're gonna put it over top. I feel weird going into my palette with this wet brush. But you see how pretty that is? And going all over the lid with that. Okay, now we're going to take Naked Blush, which is this beautiful peachy matte shade right here, and we're going to place that in the crease, and that's what we're going to use to help blend out the lid shade we just put on. And And you know, Pat's mattes are pigmented and easy to blend. So as you can see, it hasn't taken very much for me to meld these two shadows, these three shadows together. And now I'm going to take Extreme Burgundy, and we're going to place this on the outer V and a little ways into the crease, like a quarter of the way into the crease. And you're also going to bring it down under the lash line, like a quarter of the way onto the lower lash line, and blend. Now you see how dark we have here? The darkness we've got going on here, that's the smoke. That's the smoke. And I'm bringing it up into the crease as well, actually. And then this is where you decide how much smoke you want to have, right? So if you want just a little smoke, or if you want to do like I'm doing and make it really smoky, I'm going to take Skin Show Rose Opal, which is this one right here, and we're going to place that under the brow bone. And I don't normally use shimmer shades under my brow, but ooh, I think I might have used too much. Woo, woo, whoa, 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 wow. This, look how beautiful that is. Oh my gosh, I think I used too much though. And just under the brow arch. So I'm not going to take it all the way in, which is generally what I like to do. I don't know if I like to do that, but that's generally what I do. But they didn't do that. She put it, I don't even think she used this much either. She probably used a little more of a fluffier brush than what I'm using. Not so dense, but yeah, so she just placed it right under the brow arch. We're going to go back in with Divine Dusk on the lower lash line, and I'm going to spray my brush because we're going to go in with it wet, and we're going to place that onto the lower lash line. And keep the party going down here. And of course my eyes are watering, so. And then you want to go back in with your pencil along the lash line and try to smudge it in between your lashes. I'm not doing a good job because I tried to sharpen the pencil and it didn't work. And now another trick that if you do, well, this was a trick for mascara. If you got mascara on your lid, you could go in with your lid brush and just go over it rather than trying to take it off. And so that's what I'm doing with this liner that went a little out of bounds. And then you want to smudge that liner if you can prior to applying lashes, but you know, you don't have to apply lashes if you don't want to. Okay, the lashes are on. We're not going to talk about them. Okay, we're not gonna talk about them. They're on. That's all I'm gonna say about it. Okay. This is the look. There was no highlight, inner corner highlight with this look. And speaking of which, another makeup artist by the name of Jen talked about inner corner highlight. And what she said was, which was very interesting to me, because this is actually, I have since changed my technique when it comes to applying inner corner highlight, because I had decided that I didn't like the way it looks on me, and it's the way that I was applying it that I didn't really care for. And so like recently, before this class, I had just started to change the way that I applied it, actually to the way that this MUA Jen suggested. I'm looking for my brush because I just had it. Anywho, so she said, instead of, like, normally I would take a pencil brush such as this and dot the inner corner, the highlighter shade here in the inner corner, and then blend it, extend it out onto my inner corner on the lower lash line, and then blend it up into the lid shade. She says instead of doing that, you should rather, and she called that a spotlight, rather than make it a spotlight inner corner. I can't find my brush, but she said you should take like a thin flat brush, like a liner brush. She used like a liner brush. This, for example, is a good example of a brush. See how it's like thin and straight, like you would use to push in liner on the lower lash line or on your lash line, and rather draw like a line of inner corner highlight, as opposed to just taking a brush and plopping it there in the inner corner. Just another tip that was shared by one of the professional makeup artists, and I thought I would share it with you. So this is the finished look. I mean, if you were only interested in the look, of course I'm going to do the rest of my makeup and then you'll see the whole look put together. But if you were just here for the tutorial, then this is it. I haven't done my brows or anything, but this is the look. Let me just zoom you in a little more. This is the look, rosy and smoky, and I actually do like this, the highlighted arch right there, really pretty. And that shade is just, that shadow is just really gorgeous. So that's the look. I hope you'll stay with me for the rest, but if not, thanks for joining me. And now I'm going to move on to the rest of the face. I would suggest, when working with a Pat McGrath eyeshadow palette, that you do the eyes first, because if you're going to work with any of the VR or the Astro Blitz shades, you are definitely going to have glitter on your face. You're going to have fallout, and like I have glitter. You might not be able to see it, I don't know, but I have glitter all over my face right now. I'm going to go in with my primer, and I'm using today the Fenty. That was probably too much. I'm using the Fenty I think, what is this, the Pro Filter, the Soft Filter primer. And I have a whole new bottle because I had, you know, I went through a bottle and then bought another one. And I've had this for quite some time. I don't even want to say a year, but it's been a long time. And I haven't used it because, I don't know, I wasn't sure if it breaks me out or not. Today, I'll be able to know if it breaks me out or not. Because everything else I'm going to be using on my face, I've used many times. Well, not many times before, but I've used before without any issues. So, we'll see today. But I like this primer because it does mattify me. And it does help with the longevity of my makeup. And I like the smell too. I think that's vanilla, but I like the smell also. Do I need to zoom you guys in a little bit? I'm sorry for my creaking chair. It creaks and I'm fat, so there you go. All right, and now I am going to, I'm going to be using a foundation I've used before, only once before, because the first time I picked it up in the wrong shade. Really, it was really wrong. And now I have it in the right shade. It's from Juvia's Place. It's the I Am Magic Concealer Foundation. And I initially got it in the shade Gabon, which is number 300. And I had thrown this out, and I was like, oh, you know, let me hold on to it in case people want a reference or, you know, want a shade match. Is that Gabon? Because that's looking pretty good, yeah. This is Gabon, and that's in the shade 300. And the shade that actually works for me is Kampala, the number 340. And as you know, Juvia's Place, the lighter shades are the higher numbers and the lower numbers are the deepest shades. So this is Gabon, number 300, and this is 340 Kampala. My foundation shades are always in the description box below in case, you know, you are looking for a complexion match. If you think I'm close to you in complexion, I'm probably putting way too much on, because from the one time that I wore it, I remember you don't need a lot. So this is probably too much. So yeah, I leave my foundation shades in the description box below so that you can, if you're my same shade, I could help you out so that you won't have to go through what I did to try to find a match. And I never use a brush really. Definitely not for liquid foundation, but I decided to use a brush today because I'm using a brush that I picked up in a recent haul. This is the Pro Tools GT19 brush, one of the Marc Jacobs knockoff brushes that I purchased from Copycat Beauty. So I know some of you were interested in, you know, my thoughts on these brushes, so I thought I would go ahead and use one. That's the foundation, and as you can see, the coverage is pretty doggone good. Now the question is, do I want to be flawless today? Because I'm not going anywhere. Because if so, I would go back in with some concealer, some ColourPop concealer, and just go over these areas here. But I don't think I am. I think this was good enough coverage. And I think I'm gonna rock out with it like this. Now, during that recent sale, Juvia's Place sale, I also picked up another one of their concealers. I already have a concealer. What is my hair doing here? I already have a concealer from them. I have it in the shade J11, which is what I will be using that today. Why did I say J? Number 11. But online, again, I tried to pick a shade online. This is number 14, and I don't like this. I haven't even used it yet, but I'm going to use it for this video because but this 14, I thought I was picking something with a warm undertone or a golden undertone. I'm sure that's how it's described, and this just looks really neutral to me. Almost, I was gonna say almost pink, but not pink, but definitely neutral. And I don't like it, and I know I shouldn't use it today, but I'm going to. This is number 11, which I use as sort of a concealer shade because it's closer to my skin tone, and this is the new shade number 14, which to me just looks really neutral, light but neutral. So I'm going to use these in tandem together because I like to use a concealer under my eye that's close to my skin tone for concealing purposes, and then I like to use a lighter one for brightening. So, you know, my makeup's gonna come out jacked up. It always does, though. When I decide to do my makeup on camera, for some reason, it always comes out jacked up. So I'm just warning you in advance. So, Juvia's Place did have a let me use the brighter one first. Juvia's Place did have a another sale for Juneteenth. And everything was 50% off. So I went on ahead and guessed at another one. So we'll see if I got that one right. I think I got number 16. I'm not sure. We shall see soon enough though, I guess. I'm letting this sit for a second because this seems really creamy but kind of thin, and I'm not sure what this, in terms of coverage, I'm sure it's not going to cover these dark circles, but I should have color corrected, but that's for another video. So I decided to speed up this section. This is just me blending out the concealer because this whole section, and as you saw, the section leading up to this, of my concealer application was all blurry and I didn't realize it, so my apologies for that. I'm just going in with a concealer brush to blend it out under my eyes because I did have my eyeshadow already done, which I don't normally do, and then I added some more of the lighter shade, and because I didn't feel like it was giving me the coverage that I wanted. And yeah, this shade, I didn't hate it, but definitely want to see what the other concealer that I ordered looks like because I do prefer the more golden undertone. Oh, I'm looking real light. Ooh, these cameras with these lights on. See, it doesn't look too horrible when I look in the mirror, but I'm looking in the monitor, the viewfinder, and I'm like, ooh, child. But we're going to press on. And to set my under eye, I'm going to use what I've been using ever since I purchased it. Ooh, Lord, it's getting dusty. And that's my Pat McGrath under eye. Oof. Powder, which I love so much. So yeah, what was I saying? You let me know if there are any particular videos you would like to see, because you know, maybe if I had some ideas, since I'm not inspired really to do anything, maybe you guys giving me some ideas will help get my booty into gear and I can start filming something again, because I feel like I have no ideas, nothing. I don't know what to film. If it's not a tutorial, I don't know what to film. So I would like to do another can we talk video, but again, like I haven't, oh, I didn't blend that out very well. I haven't thought of any topic to talk about, and you know, I don't want to talk about what's going on in the world today because that's what's depressing the hell out of me and making me feel unmotivated to film anything. So I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. So did I do some shopping? I have done some shopping. I'm still doing that, you know, because retail therapy is a thing. Retail therapy is a thing. So I've still been doing that. Almost ordered some eyeshadow palettes from Shein or Shine. I thought it was Shine website, S-H-E-I-N, I think it's called, but I think they're in China, so maybe it's not Shine, maybe it's Shein. Jennifer Phelps, she just did a video. They have some $6 eyeshadow palettes that are some Huda Beauty dupes, and I'm like, okay, they were looking pretty good. So I almost bought a few of those, but stopped myself. Thank goodness. Some restraint. This underbrow highlight, okay, I'm starting to feel myself. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm starting to feel myself. Oh, the Juvia's Place sale. Lord, I went, and don't ask me why, but I've been wanting to try their blush palettes. And you know why I finally bought it? I'm gonna tell you the truth. I finally bought it because Beautiful Jess, she's another YouTuber here. I'm gonna link her channel down below. She does tutorials. She does makeup, everyday makeup for ladies that, you know, aren't necessarily here for all my shenanigans and tutorials. and all the color that I generally like to use. So she does makeup tutorials for you, for the rest of you. And she had one of the blush palettes, and no, I'm sorry, she didn't have a blush palette. She had two of the single blushes. One of them I'm sure is not going to work for me. I'm sure it's going to be too light, but it's so pretty. So I went on ahead, and because everything was 50% off, the blushes were only $5. That's what gets me in trouble too. Like, I don't need it, but it's so cheap. It's on sale. Let me just go on ahead and get it. So that's what I ended up doing. And I've been wanting to try the blush palettes for quite some time, and ended up buying both of them because I don't have no damn sense and no damn restraint. This is as good as the brows are gonna get, okay? So I want to go back to Pat McGrath for a second and just talk about my experience buying this palette from her, because I know you know, there were problems with this launch as well, and that everyone's experience was not good. Like, international orders got canceled for international customers, and you know, so you know, I lucked out again and was able to get the limited edition packaging. But I remember the good old days. Remember the good old days when Pat McGrath was brand spanking new, and Trend Mood would posted about eyeshadow palettes. They would come out, and when they first came out, and people would I would read the comments, and people would be like, $125 for eyeshadow palette, and then they would shade the people who would pay that much for a palette. And now these last two launches, like, I was on the website before 9 trying to make sure I was there when it went live, so that I could try to get my hands on this limited edition packaging. And it was crazy, and I haven't felt that pressed about getting an eyeshadow palette, makeup period, since her Star Wars release. I definitely wanted to get that, but even that, you know, wasn't as pressing, I don't think, because there's a lot of people that, you know, aren't into Star Wars like that. So yeah, and I was so pressed that I didn't even use the 10% discount for the palette, which upset me, of course, because, you know, if you can save some money, why not? But I ended up emailing customer service, and they refunded me the 10% that the coupon was for. So I have to say, my experiences with Pat McGrath, her brand, have been really good. I know that has not been everyone's experience, but it's been really good for me, and so that's why I keep going back. And I hope she gets the issues, you know, these launches, when she knows everyone's gonna want it. I hope she will get to a place where people can get it without so much stress. I am going to go back into the palette now, and I'm going to use one of these shades as blush. And I'm pretty sure it's Rose Seduction, yes. So I'm gonna use Rose Seduction as my blush. I've seen people doing it. The MUAs did it during the class. So now I wanna try it. And I'm using it on using a brush, the kind of brush I would normally use. I would normally use a fluffy blush brush, but I'm gonna go in with this one and see what happens. This is a flat Sephora brush, and yeah, that works. You know, I think I might, I don't know, do I wanna go in with some extreme burgundy and see what that looks like. Do I? I mean, we're playing in makeup today, right? So I feel like I don't have as much on this side as I do on this side. I'm going in very lightly because this could have been a nice blush topper actually. This shade right here. I'm gonna go in with a little extreme burgundy. Yeah. Ooh, okay. Okay. All right, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. So I don't think I've seen anyone use extreme burgundy. Has anyone used extreme burgundy? Anywho, what was I talking about? Juvia's Place blush palettes. That's what I've been doing. More retail therapy to get over my little funk that I'm in right now. And I feel like I ordered something else. Oh yeah, I did make an order. I'm sorry, I'm just talking all over the place right now because that's just where my mind is at right now, all over the place. I did buy a concealer from Kevin Aucoin. I don't know. So we'll see. Do I want to use one of these shades as a highlighter? I'm feeling like I do. And I'm feeling like I want to use, I don't think I have enough brushes because I didn't bring all my brushes in here. I'm feeling like I want to use the shade that I used under my brow. So I think I'm going to use the same blush brush and I'm going to use the other side, and I'm going to use Skin Show Rose Opal. That one right here, the same one that I used on under the brow bone. And oh yes, ma'am, yes ma'am, yes ma'am. See, I didn't put it on as concentrated, you know, as under my brow, but yeah, I like that. Ooh, look at that. This is definitely, I mean, I was planning to do, in my head anyway, I've been thinking about doing a Rate My Pat McGrath palettes before I got this palette. And now that I have this palette, my rankings would have to change. I don't know, I feel like I want to put on some more. Like, why not, right? Where am I going? Nowhere. I'm not going no damn where today, so I can get a little extra if I want to. This would be a nice blush too for a lighter skin toned diva. Oh, now I feel like I need to go on with some more blush. So I sit here under these lights and I can't see shit really. So I'm gonna go, so I'm piling this all on my face, and then when I go to edit it, I'm gonna be like, oh, what the hell was I thinking? What in the hell? So I know now I can use burgundy as a blush. I can use this as a highlight. Of course, you can also use these the special shades, the Astral Pink and the VR shades. Of course, you can use those as a blush, as a highlight too. Do I want to get jiggy with it? We gonna stop there. I feel like there's more blush on this side of my face than on this side of my face. But again, I'll see in editing. I look like Bozo the damn clown. That's what I'm gonna see. These lashes, oh my gosh. What am I doing now? I think that's it. I think I'm done. I think it's just the oh, my lip. I have to do my lip. Okay, I'm gonna put my setting spray on first, which of course is the Urban Decay all-nighter. And and then I'm going to do a lip. I wanted to do a lip like one of the MUAs did, and I do have one of those glosses, but I don't think I want to use. Do I want to use that one? Like Bronze Seduction? I'm gonna put on my earrings. Let's do that. Okay, now for a lip. I think I'm going to use my chestnut lip liner. Like, who are we kidding? I just recently bought the Cork lip liner from MAC, and actually this is Cork right here. And Cork is just, it's another brown, but it's more like a caramel brown as opposed to chestnut, which is a darker brown. So this is chestnut and this is Cork. And I don't know, I bought Cork because I'm like, oh, it's getting to be summertime and the lipsticks I wear are going to be lighter, and so maybe I should do a lighter lip liner. But I've been using it. I've used Cork before, and I used to use it in the summertime. And now I've used it a couple of times and I'm like, I reach for my chestnut and go over it again. So I'm just gonna do chestnut. And I'm going to use, I think this is Omi. This is the lipstick that was named after, no, this is 1995. Okay, I'm gonna use 1995. Because I'm not going back in the room and look for Omi. This is 1995. Yeah, it's very pink. This is Pat McGrath. And now I'm going to take Sunset Rose, also by Pat McGrath, and place that on over top. Oh, I was gonna say this is the completed look, but I didn't put on any highlight. And we can't have look completion without highlight. Can we? We can, but I can't. I'm going in with my tried and true, which does not go with this look, okay? But I don't want to dirty another brush with a different highlighter. So I'm using my Becca Creamsicle. This was supposed to be limited edition, but I guess it never sold out because I think it's still available. And I'm gonna go in with my, I probably could have just, oh, didn't I use that highlight already? Didn't you know what? I messed up, y'all. I sure did, because I used that shade out of the Pat McGrath palette as my highlighter. That's what I did. But okay, so I'll just have layered highlight. That's all. Okay, now I'm done. All right, and yeah, so that's the look. This is the whole thing. I'm not too mad at that lighter shade, that number 14 of the Juvia's Place concealer. I'm not too mad at it, but we'll see the other shade, what that looks like, because this isn't giving me like the yellow golden thingy that I like. But I mean, it did brighten underneath. I'm gonna have to start using some color. I'm gonna start color correcting under there, because them dark circles are just, they're not getting any lighter. And yeah, so of course, I love my Pat McGrath palette. Spoiler alert, if I ever do that ranking all my Pat McGrath palettes, this is right now, this is number one. Like number 5 would have been Bronze Seduction, would have been number 1, but this one right here, this one right here, and this packaging, girl. I hope going forward, I know she won't. And I mean, there's something special about doing this packaging because it makes it even more special because all of the other palettes are black lacquered. But it would be nice if maybe, you know, if she switches up her color stories a little bit more to add maybe a little more color, or more dedicated to a certain color. It'd be nice if she came out with different, like this, palette colors for it. It would definitely help differentiate the palettes in your collection if you have more than one. Although I keep my boxes, so I know which one is which. But yeah, I think this is absolutely gorgeous, and I am so glad I got it. I'm so glad I got it in a limited edition packaging, but I'm so glad I got it. And I could see this being being my most used Pat McGrath palette because, you know, I don't use them. I was gonna say I don't use too many of them, but I don't use them. But this one, especially for spring, summer, I could definitely see myself using this one. And the fact that there are shadows in here that I can use for blush, that I can use for highlight. I mean, girl, let me know in the comments below. Do you have this palette already? Are you planning to get this palette? If you are still here, then you are the real MVP. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you liked this video, then please give it a like and consider subscribing because I do makeup related videos here on my channel every Saturday. I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope to see you again next week. Until then, bye-bye.